Welcome to this edition of The Hill with April Ryan. I'm back, and let's get right to it. The Biden administration is taking action to address what they call the alarming rise of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in schools in the United States since the October 7th mass attack on Israel. The Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the Department of Education are working together to fight Islamophobia and anti-Semitism on college campuses. Here's White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
We believe what we announced just today is incredibly important. It's just a first step. And there is no place for anti-Semitism. There is no place for it.
Just this week, a student at Cornell University was arrested and charged for making online posts threatening to harm Jewish students on campus. Artificial intelligence is a runaway phenomenon globally, and leaders are struggling to grapple with the reality. This week, President Biden has signed an executive order that would essentially keep artificial intelligence from running unchecked. Administration officials say the president is leading by example, and other world governments should follow his lead. Vice President Kamala Harris is in London attending a global AI conference where she will deliver a policy speech on the president's vision. However, the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights wants the administration to focus more on the civil rights aspects of artificial intelligence, specifically facial recognition technology. AI has a very real problem processing people with darker skin tones.
The facial recognition technology is typically not normed or tested against people with darker skin tones. So it's not just Black people, it's darker skinned Black people in particular, right? And so when that means trying to recognize the face of someone, it's not going to do a good job with people like myself, people with darker skin tones. And I think the great danger is that puts us in danger if we're relying on that as a mechanism for safety. There's also a concern that the technology may recognize people falsely if you have a darker skin tone. And so that puts us in danger in a different way of being falsely accused, which is frankly an age-old problem when it comes to Black America and our interactions with law enforcement.
AI is on the agenda globally and even on the slate of the second annual Obama Foundation Democracy Forum in Chicago this week. For the second year, democracy has been the cornerstone of the Democracy Summit for the Obama Foundation in Chicago. The summit that is focusing on democracy, AI, and the economy culminates on the 15th anniversary of the election of Barack Obama as the 44th President of the United States of America. CEO of the Obama Foundation, Valerie Jarrett, talks about the historic moment when Obama was elected President of the United States, the nation's first Black president.
Just because you elect a Black president doesn't suddenly mean that all problems are solved in our country. And let's face it, we have taken some steps back in a lot of ways since then. And this kind of unleashing of hate speech and hate actions that we've seen all too often in our country just means we still have a lot of work ahead. But here's the good news. There are so many people, and particularly our foundation focuses on young people, who have strong legs and good hearts and a commitment to the greater good. And what we want to do is help unleash their full potential to pick up the baton and carry it even farther and faster than we possibly could have, because that's what our nation is really built on, is it generation after generation picking up that baton and trying to do better. And our goal is, now that we're at the stage of life that we are in, President Obama describes it as he's the coach now.
Jarrett says it is imperative that civics education classes are returned to school curriculums so students have a better understanding of how democracy works. And that conversation continues online. Be sure to check out theGrio.com. And that's it for this edition of theGrio's The Hill with April Ryan. See you next time here, where we focus on the news for us and about us. Take care. Peace.